There is a double rainbow. There is one right there that's really bright, and then that one is really, really dim.
Wait, does that? It's really
So that's really
by.
cool.
Those are really close by.
Good morning, Dragonlings. It is July 3rd. It is Sunday, and it is the first day of the hashtag 7-Day Book Challenge. This is an idea that Carrow Brown and Tamara Woods came up with based on the book that they read for Writer's Workshop called A Book a Week by Kate Hall. And I decided to join in the madness and try to get this done. I have several novellas for various series that I would like to get done, and I decided this might actually be the perfect challenge to see if I can get at least one of them done. I currently have the first book out in the Fire and Brimstone series, which is a paranormal romance novella series that each book follows a different character, but the original characters in the previous book make cameo appearances. So I'm on book 2 of that. And I figured this might be a perfect time to get that one closer to being ready to publish. I wrote the first draft before, however, I knew it needed a complete rewrite, and I haven't touched it since then, so I'm going to be working on the complete rewrite. While some things in the beginning are staying similar, there's a lot of things that are changing, including the main characters' personality and stuff. I had to make a lot of changes to how they act. So that's my plan of what I want to work on. I do have today, I have weekends off, so since today's Sunday, I have today off, and then tomorrow is the 4th of July, and I have that off. And then I work Tuesday through Friday, and then I have the next weekend off. So, and the girls don't have swim meets next week. Well, she does, but we're not going to be able to make it to that one. So, the plan is to write, I would like to write 10K both on the 3rd and 4th. And then if I can, 1 to 2K a day on the days that I work. And then on the 9th, Tamara and I are going to be hosting a 10K day. So she'll have her live stream at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 7 for me? No. 11 a.m. Eastern, which is 9 for me. And then my stream will be in the afternoon, evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. my time. So that's the plan. I would like to get as much as I can done on the today and tomorrow, write a little bit during the week, and then I will finish it up, wrap it up on the 9th, which is our 10K day. If I finish it, I do have another project I will be switching to that's unrelated to the hashtag 7-Day Book Challenge, but not going to talk about that right now because that deals with Camp NaNoWriMo, and I'm trying to keep this vlog just to the 7-Day Book Challenge. Yeah. I keep trying to say 7-book day, and I don't think that's the way it works. That would be writing 1 book a day for 7 days, and that's not going to happen. So, yes, that is the plan. And we'll see how it goes. And I look a hot mess, and I apologize for that. But it's morning time, and I haven't taken a shower, and I just feel like dog shit. Okay, cool. Happy Independence Day, Dragonlings, if you are in the U.S. I personally am not feeling really patriotic today with everything that's happened recently in the, U.S. government and lawmaking decisions and stuff like that. But if you do celebrate Independence Day, happy Independence Day. Oh my eyeball. It feels like there's something, like a film or something over it on just one side. Anyways, so today is the 4th of July, obviously. And I had a goal yesterday for this 7-Day Book Challenge to write 10K. I did successfully write 10K yesterday. It was after midnight when I hit the 10K mark, but I did write 10K before I went to bed. And even like after the midnight mark, I only wrote for like 15 minutes to hit 10K because I was that close. I think I was only like 300 words short when oh my God, why is my nose itch so much? Oh, goodness, sorry. But, yeah, I think I was only like 300 words short when midnight hit. So I just wrote for another sprint. I didn't even finish the sprint. I let the timer continue going on its own because I was using the Forest app. And, yeah, I hit 10K. I think it took me a total of 15 sprints. However, like the first 1.5 sprints, I was outlining. So I don't even really want to count those. So 14 sprints. So 7 hours to write 10K. I am going to be trying to do that again today, but I'm going to try to shorten that time span. And the other thing is that I scattered my sprints throughout the day yesterday, doing 4 during Tamara's kickoff live stream. And then the rest were basically when I felt like it throughout the day. I'm going to try today to do more sprints in the morning, especially now while my kids are not awake, and see if I can get more words done. It is a rainy day today. I don't personally have any Independence Day plans. We have a family friend who we hung out with last year for Independence Day, and we did a barbecue down by the river. However, with the rainy weather, I don't know if we're going to do that. Plus, I'm the kind of person that if you don't personally invite me, I don't think we're invited, even though this family does not think that way. They are like, they're the kind of people like, you have to call me and tell me you're coming over in order for me not to freak out when you get here. And if you just randomly show up on their front porch and knock on their door, they're like, come in, we were expecting you, kind of thing. So we probably have a standing invitation to join them for whatever they're doing for Independence Day. And that's just not the way my brain works. My brain thinks that's rude and inappropriate. So there's that. So as it stands right now, we do not have any plans for the 4th. We might just be staying in. I don't think there's any fireworks scheduled because today would actually be a perfect day to do it. But with the rain, I don't know if there's any fireworks scheduled. I realize that there is a ton of people out there that cannot handle fireworks due to either PTSD, auditory processing disorder, which I think I do have symptoms of, as well as some other things. And I realize fireworks are bad for people like that. But I personally enjoy fireworks if I wear earplugs. Like, I enjoy seeing fireworks, not necessarily hearing them, but seeing them. So if someone sets off fireworks, it will make my inner child extremely happy. But I also realize that's not a good thing. The other thing is I live in a state that's pretty red and politically. And yeah, it's gotten interesting here already. I've only lived here a year. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, at this moment, I don't have any Independence Day plans. That may change. But if it doesn't, I'm going to try to write 10K words today. And let's see. That'll put me like well over the halfway mark for the story, because I'm only planning on writing 30K for this story. And I'm almost at the midpoint now. And once I hit the midpoint, we'll see what happens. It might get easier to write, it might get slower to write. I don't know. But either way, I have complete faith that I can actually finish this by our 10K Saturday day. Even if I don't write 10K today, if I can get even just 5K today, I am pretty confident I think I can get this story done by July 9th. So that's awesome. And I'm really looking forward to that. But we'll see how the rest of this week goes. Anyways, I'm going to jump off here and let the dog in who's barking, feed them, and get to writing because I have a lot of words to do. And I will check in with you guys later. Hey everyone. So I apologize if you can hear the AC unit in the background, but it's hella hot in here because it is July and that's just the way it goes. And, hi Jester. And, so if you hear that, I apologize. But, here I am. I don't remember the last time I vlogged. I think it was on the 4th of July, and I told you about my intentions of writing 10K. I did not end up writing 10K. I wrote roughly 5K. I had every intention of writing 10K. However, my plans to do nothing but write changed. A family friend invited us to a barbecue with them, and then, which was fine, and we got done because of the rain and stuff. We got done early enough that we came back home, and I had every intention of writing then for like the next several hours before midnight. That didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because I passed out in a food coma on top of my bed. Literally. My pillow was here, and I was parallel with it. I sat down to take off my shoes and socks. And somehow I woke up 6 hours later. Because I woke up right before midnight. Yeah, and then I sent the girls to bed, and I went to bed myself, pretty much. Yeah, that was the extent of my night. I did not end up writing it all afterwards. And then yesterday I did not end up writing it all because it was my first day back to work, and when I got home, it was a really long day. It was a really frustrating day. Not as frustrating as today was. Today was definitely much more frustrating in lots of ways. But I didn't end up writing yesterday because I was looking over my outline. Hi, Baggy. And I was thinking about where I stopped the other day when I wrote 5K. And there was two things I realized. First is that I'm at the halfway point, and the midpoint is about where I slow down the most when I'm writing. I've talked about it in previous vlogs. I always know the beginning and I always know the end. It's the middle that kind of like, I know like the main events, but not how those main events are connected kind of thing. And even though this is a shorter novella, and I know that there's not a lot I need to put between those main events are big events, and I wrote one of those main events on the 5K day. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now that this book will have trigger warnings because it deals with reapers. So like the Grim Reaper, death. It deals with death. And the main character is one of Lucifer's reapers, which should tell you a whole hell of a lot right there. But his particular job is to go after like the worst scum of the worst. And the scenes I wrote on the 4th of July were actually pretty heavy. I don't write in a lot of detail about some of the things, but his first soul that he had to collect was that of a pedophile. And he caught the pedophile at his desk in the middle of an auction. So, take that as you may. One of the things I like to explore with this particular series is how, like, even the bad guys are not necessarily bad guys. If you're super religious, I can already tell you this right now. You're going to hate this series. The first book deals with Lucifer. The second book deals with Lucifer's main reaper, basically. Or one of his reapers. He's got lots, as is explained in the book. But, yeah. And I portray these bad guys as good guys. Sorry. And the reason I had to say it like that is because of the fact that, like, I work at a long-term care facility, and there's some little old ladies that keep asking me, like, what I'm doing on the weekends when I go off, and I'm like, I'm writing my books, and they're like, oh, what do you write? I'm like, oh my god, these ladies are super religious, and they're gonna have a heart attack if they find out what I write. Oh dear god, no, I can't tell them. I write about monsters falling in love. Which one are you working on now? Oh, I can't tell you that. I legit had that reaction the other day. She was like, oh, which one are you writing right now? What kind of monsters are you writing right now? And I'm like, do I dare tell her that I'm writing about Lucifer's main Grim Reapers catching pedophiles? So yeah, that's a conversation I'm not ready to have yet with these ladies.
I live in an area, this small town is, it's almost as Bible thumpery as the South I was living in. And it's kind of scary. Because I know, once these ladies realize that I am A, not religious, and B, I write about shit they hate, I'm never gonna hear the end of it. And I love it. Oh man. Anyway, that was a pointless rant that I really didn't need to have. I am super excited about this book. I am loving where it's going. However, like I said, writing those scenes were pretty heavy. I was angry. I was, I spent half those scenes crying. I'm very glad I wasn't doing it on kind of live stream, because I spent half those scenes crying, and it was a mixture of sadness and anger, because I realized that kind of stuff is what kind of stuff happens in the world, and it sucks. But it's part of the reason I write it, is to bring awareness to it to those who don't understand that it happens. But the next few scenes, while they should be a lot easier to handle than that, I'm having trouble kind of working through my own feelings, especially since I've been having a rough time at work the past couple of days. And I don't know. Part of it is the fact that those first 15,000 words were so well planned out in my head. And now the second half of the book, I'm like, I have no idea where the fuck I'm going with this idea. I do, but it's not as clear, if that makes sense. Again, it comes back to those, I know the main points, but I don't know the connecting pieces between them. And then I know how it ends. So, yeah, that's where I stand right now. I am still technically on track with the 7-day challenge. If I write today, I'm hoping to get at least 3 sprints in. I'm hoping for 4, but I don't think it's going to happen unless I write in the next 5 minutes, which is not going to happen because my computer's packed up and turned off. So I got to fix that too. Yeah, if I can get at least 3 sprints in, I think the way I calculated it is that if I wrote every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the same amount, I would only have to write 1,200 words. Since I didn't write yesterday, that does change, but I don't know what it changes to. And yeah, I'm going to go write some words, get some words knocked out, see how far I can get. I got to read back over my outline, see where I stand and where I can go, and see if I can find these interconnecting pieces between the main points. And get over my blubbering mess, because those, like I said, those were really heavy scenes. Yeah. Consider yourself warned if you're interested in reading this. It's not going to be pretty. Because I try to write stories that I feel safe giving to my kids. It's not very heavily detailed, but I am still going to be putting content warnings in the front for those who need it, because it deals with human trafficking, child trafficking, and pedophilia, suicide, and alcohol poisoning. I don't know if that's really a trigger or not, but I'll put it in there just in case. And I don't know what else I'm going to get to. There is definitely going to be, when I finally hit that final scene that I'm actually really looking forward to, there is going to be that moment. I actually compare this to, if you've ever read it, The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. It's the whole point of that story is basically the question of what would you do in an environment where there were no laws, where there were no rules. How would you react? How would you go about your life? And that question does come into play with this final confrontation between these two reapers. And I'm really looking forward to writing that, I'm not gonna lie. So part of me really wants to just skip ahead to that, but I'm a chronological writer, so I have to get to that point. So I'm gonna go try and get to that point right now. So the other thing I've noticed is that depending on how I connect these next few pieces, this story may not be as long as I wanted it to be, because I was originally thinking it was going to be 30,000 words, and we're already seeing at 15,000 words, and I think this is actually almost the 3/4 mark where we're at now, so it could be closer to 25,000 words. But we'll see. I've got lots of words to write, and I'm going to go get started, and I will see you guys all in my next update.
Good morning, Dragonlings. I have no idea when the last time I filmed a clip was, but today is the last day of the hashtag 7-Day Book Challenge, and I am pretty much on par with where I wanted to be, or where I thought I would be. Let me rephrase that. I actually got more writing done during this week than I thought I would. Excuse me, sorry about that. And what I mean by that is I didn't expect to get any writing done during my work week. It was a 4-day week because of the 4th of July holiday, and I haven't been writing during the week when I've been working, so I honestly didn't think I was going to write at all during the week, and I did. So I'm really happy with that. Today is my 10K Saturday with Tamara, and this is the last day of the 7-Day Book Challenge, and we're going to be pushing to finish our projects. I have about 10,623 words, I believe, in order to meet my word count goal, and I'm pretty certain I'm going to be writing somewhere between 11 to 12,000 words in order to complete this project. We'll see, because I am starting to get that feeling that I have too many subplots going on in this project. Especially when I compare it to the first novella in the series. This is the project that really starts the overarching arc in the series, dealing with really bad people that are at face value look like good people, because that's one of the themes I really like to explore in my works, is the fact that everyone's very morally gray to a certain extent, and I'm writing about people that are always perceived as bad guys. Like, the first novella was about Satan, and the second novella is about the Grim Reaper, and the third one is about fallen angels, and the fourth one's going to be about Krampus. And if you don't know who Krampus is, it's in short terms similar to the opposite of Santa. They punish children and take children away. But yeah, so I'm writing all these bad guy characters. Oh, hey, Bag. Yeah, I thought you were outside. I'm writing all these bad guy characters doing things that are good guy traits. And then I'm writing about these good guys who are doing bad guy things. So that's the overarching, plot of the series. But in this book in particular, there is the romantic subplot. And it's starting to feel chunky. There's also the subplot of the fact that as his final test of being a Grim Reaper, he has to kill his predecessor. So that's a thing as well. And it's starting to feel more like this is novel material versus novella material. And I don't know how to fix that, or if it's going to actually become a novel and the rest of the series will be novels with a novella prequel. We'll see how I feel after today, and as I'm starting to edit it, and maybe it will turn out that's the case, that this is going to be a novel series, because I do have the plots for books 3 and 4, and they're fairly similar with the overarching theme and a couple of subplots in between. So it might be that books 2, 3, and 4 are a novel, and then the first book was only 20,000 words. And I may go back and edit that first book and be we could add that overarching plot into this one as well and increase it to novel length. I don't know yet. But today's going to be the last day, and we'll see what happens. And I think I'll at least finish the first draft of this, but I might find that there's just so much plot that it needs to be reworked to the point where it's not a novella anymore. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna go take a shower. We do have live streams today. Tamara's is at 11 Eastern, which is 9 a.m. my time, and then my stream is at 9 Eastern PM, and that's 7 p.m. my time. So, I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna get cleaned up. I'm gonna get dressed, and honestly, I'm gonna write my first sprint before we go live. Hopefully, my husband also has work today, so at some point before I go live, I'm gonna get him up and make sure he's out the door because he's got to be at work at 9 when the first stream goes live. So yeah, I will be doing a final clip, or maybe even some in-between clips with some discussion about where I stand and where I'm going, and then the final wrap-up and final thoughts kind of thing. But this week has been fun, and I have really seen that I can make this work, and I'm going to be trying another writing experiment because of it. So I have plans, and I will talk about them at another time. All right, I will see you guys in a little bit. I need to shower real bad. My hair looks disgusting. So yeah, you can't tell I showered yesterday, but my hair looks disgusting. All right, I'm gonna go. Hey Dragonlings, it's been a few days. In fact, it's almost been like a half a week later since we wrapped up the hashtag 7-day book challenge. And I wanted to go ahead and give you my final progress and some updates and tell you about like the future of this particular project as well as the challenge going forward. So, if I had a 10K day the very first day that the challenge ran, and then I ended the challenge on Saturday the 9th. Tamara and I co-hosted a 10K Saturday live stream. Hers was in the morning and mine was in the evening, and I ended up writing over 10K on that day as well. My word count, I ended up with 11,505 words, 2 minutes to midnight. So I barely made, well, no, I didn't, excuse me. I didn't barely make it, don't let me lie to you. But I did end up writing that many words. What I barely did, and this is why that 2 minutes is so specific and why I'm like, yay, is I finished the first draft of the project with that 11,505 words. And so Demon Rider, the second book in the Fire and Brimstone series, is complete. The first draft of it is complete at 30,882 words. Yes. So not only did I finish the hashtag 7-day book challenge, I also finished the secondary goal, which I guess was the entire purpose of this challenge. I finished the book, at least the first draft. Is it a hot mess? Yes. Is it because I had two 10K days? No. It is a hot mess because I mentioned this in another vlog clip that I think I had too many subplots for how short I was trying to make the book. And I do think that ends up jeopardizing the rest of the plots. And like there was things that I probably need more description on, some more explanations in order to make them, to flesh them out better. So that being said, going forward with the project, I am not done with Demon Rider. My next step will be to print out a physical copy of it and go through it, reread the entire thing, and make like notes on the sides as I go. And what I'm hoping to accomplish with this is figure out exactly what plots I actually want in the story and how strong I've already made those plots versus what I need to do to fix those plots. And then after that, my next step will be rewriting the next draft and seeing exactly like how much work it actually needs before publication. Whipple, wobble, whipple, wobble. Sorry, I had a childling interruption. I had to pause the video for a second.
But the next step after I finish reading it is to write a brand new draft, see how long that is, and then go from there, basically. I do still have hopes that I can publish this story by the end of this quarter. Here's my thought process with this. So I wrote the first draft during the 7-day challenge. Rewrote the first draft, I should say. If you watched an earlier vlog clip, you know that I've actually technically written a first draft of this story before. However, I didn't remember a lot of the original plots, except for like the beginning, maybe 5,000 words, maybe. And then after that, everything else has been changed and brand new since that draft. And I wasn't even looking at that draft when I was writing the new draft. So it literally just came from what I could remember. So I spent the 7 days writing this first draft. I'm letting it rest this week, and starting next week, I will print off a physical copy and I will start rereading that, and I'll be making notes on it. My goal is to have this published by the end of this quarter, which means by July, August, September, by the end of September. In fact, I tentatively, in my mind, because I have not done it on the computer, set a pre-order date for September 30th. I apologize if you can hear my husband. The walls are super thin. His office is literally right on the opposite side of this bookcase, and I can hear him even if you can't. He is already yelling at his game because it's not working out the way he wants it to. But anyways, what was I going to say? Tentative pre-order date for the end of September. We'll see how that goes. I am not going to set anything in stone because I just don't know how everything's going to work. Yeah, there's a lot of work I need to do on this project, and I'm not certain exactly where it stands as far as like what it's going to act up needing work-wise. I might just be able to tighten up a few scenes and hammer it out and go from there, but I might need to rewrite the entire thing. I have a feeling I'm going to need to rewrite the entire thing. We'll see. Okay, so there's that. So tentative pre-order date, publishing that, writing that, editing that. If, as I'm rewriting it, there's a possibility that it will turn into a novel versus a novella. Novels for me are shorter than most people. My novels tend to be between 60 and 80K. I do prefer writing and reading shorter works. There's just, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, too many books out there that could have been edited down like 100 pages less than what they are, because it's nothing but fucking fluff. And I'm trying not to write fluff. In fact, one of the things I always have to strengthen in my works is the description and like the actions of... I'm really good at dialogue. I will have pages upon pages of dialogue without any like breaks, because I'm really good at dialogue. But I am not so good with description. And like, I can already tell you right now, one of the major things I'm going to have to like work on when I edit is the final few scenes with the showdown between characters, because there isn't a lot of description there. So I know that's already going to add some words, and it might crop up into novel length. And looking at the outline plot points I've already got for books 3 and 4 of the series, the same thing might be true for them. If book 2 ends up being a novel, I think it'll be safe to say that books 3 and 4 will as well. And if all 3 end up being novels, I'm either going to take another look at the first book and see if I can tie in the overall plot from the next 3 into that one as well, and kind of increase that to novel length, or it will become a reader magnet for that series, and it will be just a short, quick read that's kind of a prequel to the series itself, basically. I haven't decided which it's going to be. We'll see. All right, other things about this challenge. Thoughts. It was hard doing this. It was easier in a couple ways. I have weekends off. This summer is really interesting because my oldest has decided to join the swim team, so There are technically swim meets every weekend. We do not always make it to the swim meets. And the weekend that we decided to do this challenge, we were not going to a swim meet. It was like 2 hours away. She has to be there before 8 o'clock in the morning, and Justin had work. If we had 2 vehicles, it wouldn't have been a problem. Or if we had known, like, let me rephrase that. If we had planned ahead of time and gotten a secondary vehicle for him to go to work, it wouldn't have been a problem. But, right this year, since it's our first year doing swim, we're just doing, except for divisionals and regionals, we're just doing the closer swim meets. So that one was not on our list. In fact, I think this weekend coming up is our next one, and then regionals and divisionals are the next ones we're going to after that. Yeah. So there was a point to all that. Oh, I have weekends off usually, and it just so happened that this time it fell on a weekend that I wasn't going to a swim meet with Grace. And so we started on the Sunday that I had no swim meet to go to. Justin had work, and I was able to write. And then, of course, it was the 4th of July, and I don't work on the 4th of July, so that's 2 days right there that I could write. Then I had a 4-day work week. And then I had the Saturday we decided to do the 10K. Again, I did not have to go to a swim meet. Justin had work. And so everything worked out. If I had done this challenge any other time, where I had a 5-day work week and I wasn't able to do the 2 10K weekends, or the weekend days, Sunday and Saturday, I don't think I would have successfully been able to do that challenge at this time. And I definitely wouldn't be able to have successfully done this challenge doing a novel at this time. Just because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I started one job in December, switched in April, but I haven't had a whole lot of time off, or the work has been so stressful that I just cannot fucking think. And so the only writing I have really done before this challenge this year has been on our 10K days that Tamara and I have been doing once a month. So legit, if you look at my writing from January till now, I've only written 1 day each month. And that's been on 10K day. I fucking hate it. So I know, just based on my work schedule, based on what I have going on in my life, that if I had been doing anything but a novella, it would not have worked. I would have failed the challenge. And if I hadn't had both Saturday and Sunday free, and then of course the 4th of July off, again, probably would not have made it at this time. This whole challenge is based on the book, A Book a Week by Kate Hall. And I will be the first to admit, and I even told, I don't know if I said it in the live stream or if I said this behind scenes with Tamara and Carrow. I think I said it on the live stream. But the very first time I read this book, it was back in, I want to say February. And that was back when I was working that first job I was talking about that I had gotten in December. But everything was so screwed up at work that I legit worked every day in February except for 1 day. And I was miserable. It was not a fun time. And I read this book and instantly hated it. Straight up hated it. Every goddamn word. It could burn in hell for all I care. But when they finally read it for the writer's workshop, which, if you didn't know, Writer's Workshop is a nonfiction writing-related book club that Tamara hosts. There is a Goodreads group that picks the book of the month usually, and then on the last Saturday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern, there is a live stream discussion about the book. So, anyways, little promo there for that. They read A Book a Week in June for Writer's Workshop, and then Carrow was like, let's do this writing challenge. And of course I'm in the comments going, I'm in. Don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm in. Because I cannot for the life of me pass on a challenge. fault. But, so yeah, I know for a fact that I would not have successfully been able to do this challenge if many other things had been different. And I'm really grateful that it worked out this way. That being said, Tamara and I had a discussion after my live stream on Saturday, and we have decided we're going to try this challenge again. And we're not going to do it every month, but at this time, we are tentatively scheduling another 7-day book challenge for September. And I will have the dates in the description because I cannot remember them off the top of my head and my planner's not anywhere near me, unfortunately. I wrote them down in my planner. Of course, my planner's in the kitchen. But we are going to do this again in September. I am going to work on the 3rd book in the Fire and Brimstone series, which is the one I have the least plot for of the 4 books. So this ought to be interesting. I am going to do a couple of things different with this challenge. First of all, I'm going to have a full 5-day work week because there won't be any holiday during the week we're doing it. I've already calculated it. And so I'm going to have to do a lot more work in order to make it work, basically. And then the other thing I'm going to do differently is I am going to have it already completely outlined. Like I said, I've already got, I know how it starts, I know how it ends, I know some of the major plots in between. It's the subplots and the connecting plots that I don't know. Usually, in this case, I don't know any of that shit. I have a general idea that could be summed up into one sentence, and it's about fallen angels. And that's the extent of my ideas so far with this particular one. I have more plot for the 4th book than I do for the 3rd book. Only because the 3rd book deals with a character that we met in the 2nd book, as well as, other fallen angels, including a new one that's going to fall recently. So yeah, we are going to be doing it again in September. So we're going to try for this time being making a bi-monthly thing. So the idea is to do it in September, and after September's, we will decide if we're going to do it in November, which will line up with NaNoWriMo if we decide to do it. And that's what I'm thinking we're going to do. And I am just going to stick with novellas for right now because I want to finish this particular series, which originally the idea was for it to be a novella series. That may change, but the first draft probably won't of any of them, honestly. We will see when I edit the 2nd book. And then after that, if we are still doing this challenge later in life, I have another novella series that I have. That one's completely plotted, honestly. It might be easier for me to just finish that one. Not the point. And by completely plotted, I mean all 3 books are completely plotted. It's just a matter of me sitting down and writing them. Anyway, what else? There was a few other things that I wanted to talk about before I wrap this up completely. Naval challenge, doing it again. The way we're doing this 7-day book challenge is we are always going to probably, if we continue doing this and make it a thing, we are going to align it with our 10K day so that we start the Sunday before and we end it on the 10K day. So whatever, like I said, it'll be in the description, but whatever week we are doing the challenge, the last day of the challenge is going to be our 10K Saturday. So that's something to keep an eye out for too. I want to say in September we made it something through the 13th. So I'm thinking the 6th through the 13th. And I don't know why that date's sticking out of my mind, but that's the one that's sticking out of my mind. I don't think it's right though. Don't quote me. Like I said, it'll be in the description. But, another thing I wanted to talk about that I almost forgot. This is not technically my first time doing this challenge. It's just my first time doing this challenge this way. Back in 2020, March of 2020, I hit an all-time low with, this was actually before they even really, COVID wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't a thing yet, but we were not on lockdown. There wasn't really talks of lockdown yet, because that happened closer to mid to end of March, whereas I'm talking beginning of March. But I was really depressed. There was a couple other things going on in my personal life. I had just put down one of my dogs, and I had lost a Job that I was really looking forward to due to a lot of miscommunication and like just straight up nonsense bullshit, basically. And I was just at an all-time low. And I couldn't write for shit. But there was a cover I wanted. And my husband and I made a deal that if I could outline and write the book idea in 7 days, I could purchase that cover. That cover only. It's been around for a while, you may know, but I'm a little cover hoarder. I have 26 plus covers and the books aren't written yet. Just saying. So that made my little heart and I completely did it. I outlined and I wrote Dear Satan, which is the first book in the Fire and Brimstone series, in 7 days. I think I just called it the 7-day challenge when I did it, and it wasn't based off the book a week. It was legit just me and Justin making a deal and being like, we're gonna do this. You should do this kind of thing, and you get this as your prize when you win it. I'm definitely reward oriented as far as like stuff goes a lot of times. Like if you tell me I'm gonna get something, chances are I'm gonna fucking find a way to make it work. But so I think it was kind of cool and kind of full circle that for this challenge based on this book, I worked on the second book of the series. It makes me so happy. And that's why with the next like 1, possibly 2 renditions of this challenge, I want to do like the rest of the series. And writing book 2, I possibly have an idea for a 5th book that will be a new story arc. But I don't know. Possibly, possibly not. We'll see. We shall see. At this moment, no. But, and I'm hoping it stays that way. Don't jinx me. Do not jinx me. But, yeah. So, that just is really cool that I get to, you know, come full circle with the project that I, you know, got me back into writing back in 2020. And 2020 was the year that I published 3 books at once, basically. Because I published the first 2 books in the Damned and Dangerous Quartet, and then I published Dear Satan. I'm still really super proud of that book, even though I know I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's so bad. So bad. But, yeah. And hopefully the same will be true this year. Hopefully by the end of this year, I am able to put out the second book in the series. And I'm not gonna lie, I would love to put out the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 4th would be kind of tight since I would possibly be, if we continue with this challenge, I would possibly be writing it in November and then publishing it by the end of December. I don't know if that would happen. But let a girl dream. It's gonna happen, okay? So yeah. Would I do this challenge again? Yes, because I'm going to. Am I crazy for doing it? Probably. How will I make it work around work? Hopefully, I have the weekends free to do a couple of 10K challenges. And then I'm probably going to have to wake up really early in the morning the rest of the week in order to make sure I get writing done before I go to work, because Lord knows once I go to work and once I get home, I ain't doing a squat. I've been lucky to do anything but sleep when I get home, or play video games, or watch TV, because my mind is nothing but mush. So, that is my final thoughts on the hashtag 7-day book challenge. And yeah, did you participate with us in doing this challenge? What were your goals, like your word count goals? Because we didn't set an actual word count goal. Everyone had their own word count goal based on what they were working on, what project they were working on. So if you did this, what were your goals? Did you accomplish those goals? And where are you standing at now with your project? Are you going to do it again? Are you going to join us in September and do this challenge? Let me know all of this in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, because I am trying to get back into the habit of doing vlogs. I've got other vlog clips I need to string together and, you know, post. And then, yeah. I'm definitely going to be vlogging challenges like this whenever we do them. So expect another vlog like this one, talking about the 7-day book challenge.
because it's gonna happen. Excuse me. Even if the book does not happen. Anyways, I'm gonna go. This video clip is really long and I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I'm gonna see you guys in my next video or my next vlog or whatever happens and when that happens. And yeah, just bye, Dragonlings. If you can hear the AC unit. Well, that was funny. My tripod thingy, which I absolutely hate this tripod thing. This seems to be the kind of clip that comes with all friggin' tripod setups now for phones. But anyways, it ejected it.